Well, hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well. I hope this Monday morning's treating you wonderfully, and I hope that everything's good for you. I'm back. I took some time off. I actually had to have surgery on my nose. I actually had I broke my nose and had to have a few things fixed, but we're back now. I appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel, and if you haven't hit the like button on this video, I want to encourage you to do so. Godzilla right there to help us with that little problem, and appreciate you guys very much, and just want you guys to pray for us. We're going to get back into videos and do a lot of fun stuff. I've got so much in my mind I want to talk about, and a lot of good things going on. I want to encourage you also as well, check out our book on Amazon, The Handbook of Modern Heretics, available now, and you guys will really enjoy this book, and I know that we've got a lot of good reports on this book, and so praise the Lord for that, and so what a blessing that is. So check that out, link in the description below. There's a big controversy right now on X, and I'm trying to not be a boomer and still call it Twitter. I'm trying to be up with the thing. You know what I'm saying? No cap. Be bussin' and all that stuff like that. Trying to call it X now. There's a lot of controversy in the Christian community on X right now. And virtually all of it has to do with women.
How dare you!
And so it's very interesting what's going on. Now, I want to encourage you guys, if you have not seen Third Adam 3, I want to encourage you to go watch that. It's got several 100,000 views on it, and I'm glad. But just for some of you new folks who have not seen our Third Adam documentaries, I want to encourage you to go check those out. Third Adam 3, Rise of the Divine Feminine, over 500,000 views, and where we speak about how Satan's plan to destroy everything that God does is to go after the women. I think that women are extremely important, like vitally important. And, it's kind of like if you think of it this way, I was this deer hunting season now. If you're deer hunting and you have a bow, you can't shoot that deer 10 times. You have to get one shot that causes maximum damage to that deer so that you can successfully harvest that meat. Well, Satan kind of thinks the same way of the church. What is the one thing that I can shoot at, that I can cause damage to, that will literally destroy everything? And Satan chose to go after the woman. He went after Eve in the Garden of Eden. He didn't go after Adam. He didn't go after the creation. He didn't go after the lions and the cheetahs and the hippopotamuses and all that in the Garden of Eden. He didn't go after the tomatoes, the cucumbers, the carrots. He went after the woman, because he knows how important women are. And I think that we as Christians need to acknowledge that women are very important. God uses women in the Bible for just enormous things. And so to say that God doesn't use women is not a biblically accurate thing to say. But here's the thing, too. You have to understand, Satan, in order to cause maximum damage to the church, manipulates women, attacks women, and if I could maybe even put it to you this way, Satan uses women to destroy. And so right now what you have is a lot of controversy surrounding women, and I think that's very interesting how that works. Just a little sidebar there. But here's what I want you to see, is that Allie Beth Stuckey made a post, or she made a statement. And for those of you who don't know, I am reading reports all over the internet that Allie Beth Stuckey is being pushed. There is a push for her to be the next Charlie Kirk. I don't think that's a good idea. One of the reasons why Charlie Kirk was effective with young men was that he was a young man. And to put a woman in that position is not going to do what you think it's going to do, because 21-year-old young men are not going to listen to a middle-aged, woman telling them to step up and be men. That's just not going to happen. But she said this, and this is where all the kerfuffle is, if that's even a word. I heard that word. I'm trying to use it. I hope it's not inappropriate, but I'm going to use it. But check this out.
Failed women. Second one. Are you ready? Are you ready?
All right, here we go.
Porn has weakened men.
Yeah, so she goes on this tirade about pornography use amongst men and how it
You
has
know,
weakened
Charlie.
men. And I mean, I think obviously everybody alive believes that. And I don't know if there's enough attention given to that. I think that's kind of like a silent epidemic, and I think everybody needs to be hitting that, and I think everybody needs to be talking about that. But here's let me just play this for you. And you see if you can see where people get upset at this.
It creates addiction and shame. It destroys marriages. It ruins your perception of other people. It is the legal loophole for sex trafficking. It is evil in every way, and it will destroy your life.
Absolutely.
And
That's
this is
1,000%
I
right.
would want to say to men, and I hope that you hear it from strong men in your life, that men, we need you. And we need your masculinity, and we need your strength, and we need your boldness, and we need your courage, and we need those things to be harnessed for good. We need you to be solid pastors. We need you to be strong leaders. We need your voice. We need you to bravely stand up for the most vulnerable, to stand up for women and children and for the unborn, to raise a respectful ruckus for the things that matter. We need really strong men, and porn makes you weak.
Okay, so there you go. That's the deal. And that was the clip that set the internet on fire over the weekend. What a time to be alive. Oh man, what exciting days. And you know, just to be honest with you, I don't have a problem with anything that was said. But here's the deal. I understand the nature of the male, for I am one. And I understand young men. I get it. And here's what I said. A lot of guys did not react real well to this. And here's what I posted, and I'll show you what other men have posted as well. The reaction to this clip has been enormous and profound. This is a classic example of why women preaching is not only biblical but impractical and ineffective. Although what she said was correct, the fact that she is a female telling men to quit porn and step up and be men has not been received well. And that's a fact. Go view the quotes and the comments for yourself. I do believe that female influencers are just female preachers pretending that they're not. And I'm not the only one who said this. Jason Whitlock and Virgil Walker did a video where they talked about that. Man, let me see if I can just pull that up real fast for everybody. And they basically said the same thing here that I said. Or see, Jason Whitlock posted this. Let me see if I can pull it up for everybody, because he's they basically had this conversation with each other, and I agree that it wasn't received very well. And so here it is. It was on Virgil's page. It wasn't on Jason Whitlock's page. But like, just listen to this, and you'll see that I'm not the only guy saying this.
Allie Beth is getting a little collateral damage that I think is undeserved, but I get where men are coming from.
That men, we need you, and we need your masculinity, and we need your strength, and we need your boldness, and we need your courage, and we need those things to be harnessed for good, to raise a respectful ruckus for the things that matter. We need really strong men, and porn makes you weak.
At the end of the day, though, there was not a thing that she said that was incorrect or wrong. As men, though, we've got to be honest. We do not want to hear women telling us anything as it relates to how to get right, how to act right, how to do right, how to be right. We don't really want another man to tell us, but we will definitely endure that. We endure Charlie Kirk's voice because we embrace the fact that he's a grown man telling another grown man, or a man hoping to be grown, what they should do. It works better that way. It just does.
And so you understand that I mean, like, I'm not the only guy saying that. Like, men are not going to hear this from a woman. They're just not going to do it. Okay. And here's the deal about preaching. And I even made something. I was doing a teen Sunday school the other day. I was talking about this. When you preach, you offend people. You just do. When you speak, you offend people. The exchange of ideas on a public platform, whether it be political or religious, or even whatever. I mean, just even a cultural thing. The exchange of ideas creates friction, and it creates conflict, and it offends people. And there's been times that I have made a post and I lost friends over it. There's been times that I said something on this channel, lost friends over it. I'm constantly losing over and over and over and over, people, because I'm constantly offending people because I'm constantly talking. And that's just how it is. It doesn't mean I'm doing anything wrong. It's just the nature of speaking and the nature of influencing people. Moving parts create friction, and that's just how this works. So leadership is the art of offending people at a rate that they can take. That sounds silly once you put that out loud, but preaching is the same way. Preaching and church leadership is offending people at a rate that they can handle. If you give them too much, then you blow them out. If you don't give them enough, then you bore them. Men need to be challenged. People need to be challenged. People need to hear a message. Like I preached one the other day on running your race, and I said some things about physical passions and about people, and you can say too much to where you offend them too much, and they can't take it. I think it was Bob Jones Sr. that said that if we cannot take the preaching that it would take for us all to get right with God, it would offend us too much. So you have to offend a little bit, and you have to kind of draw it out over time. That's what preaching is. And men will take that from a man that they know loves them, but generally men will not take that from a woman. And you say, well, men are jerks. Well, yeah, everybody's a jerk. That's just how it is. And so if you go to what Virgil said, we won't take it from a man, and I think he's right. We won't take it from a man, but we definitely won't take it from a woman. We will endure a man telling us that. That's largely true. That really is largely true and unfortunately, and I know you ladies may be listening to that and say, well, that's not fair. Well, no, it's not fair. But it's a fact. It just is. It just is a fact. But so that being said, let me show you some other guys who, this has been all over the place. I'm just telling you, I have been massively entertained by this.
Oh yeah!
And it has been exciting. So let me show you this. Like this guy named Pastor Mathis, if wives are to be silent in order to change their husbands, and this is a quality that single women need to seek if they wish to be married, that is a quiet spirit. Pushing women into public spaces like this makes them comfortable with de facto leadership roles that are contrary to a quiet spirit. Now let me show you this, and this is kind of wordy. Oh my goodness, the man wrote a novel, but I think this is a good response. I'm going to throw this out there to you so you can get just think about this as it's being said. But he responded to Allie, Beth Stuckey, saying, I genuinely believe you're operating in good faith, but you and all the other conservative Christian women who get on stage and talk about the problems with men, regardless of how correct you may be, unfortunately do not understand what you're doing isn't only unhelpful, it's inherently contradictory. Rather than solve the problem of male leadership you lament, you in fact underline the cause of it. Men will become leaders for one reason, because a man, either from his own will or from fate thrusting it upon him, realizes that he must lead. He notices that there is a problem that needs to be solved. He either sees incompetence or a vacuum and decides he must step forward to either correct or fill it. A man does not become a leader when he is nagged into it by a woman. That's a fact. That's a fact. You can't nag your husband into being spiritual. You can't nag your husband into being, a good man. It's not how men work. A man does not become a leader when the legitimacy of his actions is measured by how much they align with a woman's interest. He does not have authority in such a scenario because his authority is constantly questioned. He has the responsibility of acting and bears the consequences of his actions, but he lacks agency to determine which actions to take. He might be out in front, but he's not a leader. He is a sock puppet. Really, he is a slave. This is how most women want it, or at least it's what they have been taught is normal and correct. Liberal feminist women do not want men to have any authority, and so this Undermining is natural and congruent to them, yet most conservative women in practice operate in the same way, even though they do not align ideologically with feminism. They do want men to lead. They just want them to lead the way they want them to. Soak on that one for a little while.
How dare you?
I mean, yikes. These women think this is okay and that there is no reason they shouldn't tell men what and how to fix things because this will help men to lead better, but it does not. What it does, especially for men who have been emasculated all their lives, is it makes them shut down and escape. They realize they don't have authority, so naturally they shrink responsibility. By instructing men, you are telling them that they are stupid. They don't thrust them to step up on their own. They're mothering. They respond like little boys accordingly. Boy, there's a lot here. There's a lot here. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to read the rest of this to you, and it just bear with me for a moment. It's really interesting. So what are you supposed to do? You're actually, believe it or not, supposed to get out of the way. You're supposed to create the vacuum and say, men, we have these problems. Can you fix them? You're supposed to submit and surrender to our judgment and authority and to trust our competence, not to tell us what to do. You're supposed to believe in us and our latent capability and foresight. You are not supposed to second guess us or argue. And if we make mistakes, which is inevitable, you're supposed to have faith that we will figure things out and correct course. I understand, obviously, this submission is scary for most women. It is the fairer sex's big stumbling block. You see it in the discourse on Here in the Time. And the defensiveness and angry demeanors of women hardened towards life and love. It is unsurprising, of course, many women have been disappointed and betrayed by men who have fallen short of their hopes and expectations. Yet while a woman should be judicious in her selection of man, if she is to ever feel cherished and retain her femininity, she still must ultimately give herself up to him. This requires deep trust, and this is why women choose men in their love lives. They should choose men with vitality and, most importantly, integrity. Yet as hard as it may be to surrender, if a woman is to remain in essence a woman, she must nevertheless find the courage to do it. In the same way that a man is defective if he does not lead, a woman is defective if she does not submit. This is what men mean today when we say women aren't women anymore. Women like you, Allie, mean well, but you do not know how to let go of control. That's tough. You do not know how to get out of the way. Frankly, you do not know when to shut up. Oh boy, that's brutal. Good heavens. All right, let's continue. The good news is that the response men are having towards you shows that men are actually becoming men again. It may still be the early adolescent rebellious stage against the devouring mother that our society and, yes, our church has become. It may at times seem immature and petulant, but it is nevertheless the sign of a masculine spirit stirring, a spirit which is at its core is sovereign and resists being controlled. Because the first step of men becoming men again, ironically enough, is when they no longer care about listening to women. That is not because women aren't important to men. Women at their best inspire and support us. Indeed, our growth and strength comes from our need to care for you and please you. It grows from the extent of our responsibility, which masculine men invariably seek out as they gain more authority. But it does not come from listening to your lectures, which are only disrespectful but frankly have little value to us, not because you are wrong about us per se, but because when women do not take responsibility for their own behavior, their judgment of us is unearned and becomes irrelevant. This is not sexist. It is also how men treat other men. Masculine men only care about the opinions of men who are in the arena. If you enter the domain of men, be prepared to be treated like one. That's a fact. In the end, as society is fixed, it will come down to the men finally stepping up on their own and doing what must be done. Women can help with this, but not in the way they have been doing it. They can only do so by creating the vacuum for men to step forward more easily. Indeed, the most productive thing conservative women can do with their platforms is to focus their attention on other women, calling out their own sex's vices and entitlements and encouraging more humility. In other words, to focus on the problems women have today, which are equally manifold, rather than attempting to solve men's problems. Men will sort out their own. We already are. What men need are not your exhortations, but your actual faith. And I mean faith in action. Your prayers for us are beautiful, but they come across as empty and self-centered without your surrender. Not every man will rise to the task when you give him this trust, but most will, far more than most women appreciate, and the performance and courage of men in the West will rise in proportion to the amount of trust their women put in them. The blueprint for manhood is still in us, even if we have forgotten how to follow it. Yet what we require to remember isn't your advice, it's your belief. This is the power of feminine energy that's been forgotten by women today. In their foolish and unfruitful quest to be inferior men, they have forgotten that they have the ability to get everything by doing nothing. They are not builders at their core. They are amplifiers. Men naturally create structure, but it's women who create the reason to make it in the first place. I hope that women rediscover this power in themselves. The West needs as many muses to survive as it does warriors. And to that, I largely agree with that. I'm going to show you this, and somebody asked me about this on a channel member live stream. You know, how do you ladies deal with your husbands? Your husband who won't lead, your husband who won't be spiritual, your husband who won't take you to church, your husband, you know, how do you deal with these things, these creatures? Well, the Bible says, likewise, you wives, 1 Peter 3:1, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may be without the word won by the conversations of the wives. While they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear, whose adorning, let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting a hair and a wearing of gold and putting on apparel, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of God of great price. For after this manner in the old time, the holy women also who trusted in God adorned themselves, being in subjection to their own husbands, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters you are, as long as you do well and not afraid with any amazement. I want to just throw this out there, the meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of God of great price. A woman who has a meek and quiet spirit has the ability to influence men. A woman who has a cantankerous and loud and nagging spirit she does not have the ability to influence men. She doesn't. And so, you know, a lot of you ladies who watch this channel, that's your situation. You married a guy, and maybe he's not taking care of you, and maybe he's not leading spiritually in your home. And I understand that, and I sympathize with you, and I'm sorry. But you don't make a man spiritual by nagging him, by lecturing him. You don't make a man mature by doing that either. You love him, and you have a meek and quiet spirit, and that is the demeanor that you need so that you can influence him. And that's just the nature of the beast. I wish it wasn't that way. Now, I'm going to tell you guys a story. Thank you guys for watching this far into this video. I appreciate that. Smite your like button if you will, and subscribe to this channel, of course, if you're new. I remember when I was in high school, I played on a pretty good team in Gwinnett County, Georgia. I played for the Decula Falcons. I'm a graduate of Decula High School, and back when I was playing, we were actually a pretty good program. I remember, for some reason, I don't even know why, but for some reason, one day a woman showed up as a coach, and she was like, apparently she worked with NFL teams on the special teams or something. It was really bizarre. We didn't understand it, but we were trying to do extra points, and I was kind of like the left tackle on the PAT team, field goal team, and my job was just to stand there, be a body, and step down and block, and that's about all I could do. Well, she came out there and she was real. Like, she gave the center a fit because apparently he wasn't positioning his body right, and she came out there and yelled at us, and like we sat there with our jaws wide open, like, what is this woman, some G.I. Jane, whatever, out there doing? Like, what, and like, literally, no, I remember the event because it was so funny because nobody took her seriously. Because she was out there just, it was like Conan the Barbarian. but she was like some 40-year-old overweight woman, and she was like an NFL coach. We didn't understand that. That was weird to us. Of course, my job was simple, and I did my job right, so I never got any flack for her, so I was fine. But I just remember that, and I'm just telling you, like the things that are happening with Allie, Beth Stuckey this weekend are happening because men are just not going to hear this from a woman. And I'm not the only guy saying that, and that's just how this works. So now, of course, if you look at this post, it's been viewed 3.8 million times, and you can kind of view the quotes on it and all that kind of stuff. And you just go through the comments and look at it yourself, and you will see so much. You'll see so much backlash on this. And a lot of it is severely sharp. And like Sarah Stock said this. I don't know Sarah, but she's an interesting account, 133,000. She's part of Rift TV. I don't really understand them. I don't know what they're doing. But she said this: I've noticed that the male influencers who have been the most effective at leading young men to be more masculine and ditch porn are constantly be called misogynistic by women on the right. If you want men to lead, then let them lead. And that's a fact. Now, I'm going to tell you this, doomsday scenario, like the worst thing that could happen. If Allie Beth Stuckey is made to be the replacement for Charlie Kirk, and I'm not saying that she's going for that, but I'm saying that I see comments for people that are trying to push for that. If that be the case, you can forget it. That is a disaster. Leadership needs to be done by men. And I think as Christians, we understand that. And that's why, and I think God is the one who told us that. He said, let the women keep silence in the church. If any man desire the office of bishop, he desires a good work. That kind of stuff. So that's what we need to get back to in the local church. And this is what society gets back to. Men need to be men. The joke where I came from in Georgia is, where I come from, the men are men and the women are too, and, but that is not how a healthy society works. Men need to step up and women need to let him. That's how it needs to work. And that's God's design. That's just God's design. So there it is. I hope this video is a blessing to you. I hope it edified you and gave you some things to think about, especially in the biblical womanhood. I'm burdened about this for women. I think that there's a lot going on with that. I think there's a lot of destruction because there's like a form of feminism going into the churches, and feminism makes monsters out of people. Feminism is actually a form of the occult, actually, and we dealt with that in 3 Adam 3, Rise of the Divine Feminine. Go check that out. But also, I appreciate you guys listening and watching our channel. Thank you for checking out our book, Handbook of Modern Heretics, available on Amazon. You can check that out, and we got all kinds of chapters on that. Let me just take a moment and plug my book here for you. We got chapters on what are cults, what are psychopaths, the Jehovah's Witnesses, Christian Science. We got the Hebrew roots, Scientology. We got the Black Hebrew Israelites. We got all kinds of stuff like that in here. Check this book out. Link in the description below. And subscribe to this channel if you're new. And we'll be doing a live stream. We're doing a lot through the month of November. So check that out and don't miss all that. So God bless you, friend. Have a good day. And we will see you guys next time.